Covering St. George for you tonight, where we're following a DUI arrest where a father with his 3-month-old baby in the car was pulled over and blew over double the legal alcohol limit.
The suspect, Nedjim Jackson, was out on bail from a previous domestic violence arrest from just a week ago. Liv Kelleher's talking with experts about the impacts domestic violence can have on the children who witness it.
Nedjim Jackson was arrested near 900 South Bluff Street on Monday after he turned out of this Maverick into oncoming traffic. The arresting officer in a police report said that he was visibly intoxicated with red eyes and slurred speech. His child, estimated to be about 3 months old, was in the back seat of that car.
You know, children don't always have a voice and they don't always have a choice in these cases. So we really need to hold adults accountable when they choose to make the preventable choice of driving while intoxicated.
Erin Payton from Mothers Against Drunk Driving calls this type of DUI egregious. Sherry Brummer, the assistant director of the Utah Division of Child and Family Services, says children, no matter how young, could struggle from long-term effects of witnessing domestic abuse.
And that can include things like depression, anxiety, increased startle response, and it can sometimes also bleed over into issues of neglect.
How often do you see alcohol abuse tied to potentially dangerous situations in the household for children?
It's sort of a common misconception is that domestic violence is occurring because of that substance use.
While a recent study shows that alcohol is a factor in 40% of domestic abuse cases, and that as intoxication increases, so does the severity of that violence. Brummer says that addressing the alcoholism doesn't necessarily address the abusive behavior.
When you hear of cases where children are in the car with an adult who has been drinking, how is that viewed in the eyes of Child Protective Services?
We actually would call that a child endangerment, and that falls under the definition of abuse.
A Class A misdemeanor in Utah, a penalty advocates say isn't harsh enough.
We believe that it should be treated as a felony across the board.
Jackson is currently being held at Purgatory Correctional Facility, that arresting officer requesting no bail, saying he believes he is, quote, an immediate risk to the mother, his child, and the public. In St. George, Liv Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
And remember, if you or somebody you know is experiencing domestic violence, there is help out there for you. You can contact the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition and the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The number's there on your screen for you. You can also visit safeutah.edu. That's safeutah.edu.